Gather around, children. Today we're venturing into a new music scene called Controllerism, and to help us do that, we're actually taking a look at the VCI-100 arcade controller. It's a custom DJ tool with friggin' arcade buttons. The future of music is changing as we know it, and it's the hackers who are at the forefront of these changes. Hence the birth of Controllerism, the use of software controllers such as keyboards and joysticks to create music. Just as a DJ uses two turntables and a mixer to scratch, affect, and mix music, a controllerist uses software and a controller to do the same and a whole lot more. Underground artist Moldover was the first to bring the concept to reality in 2007 by modifying his MIDI keyboard into a custom audio controller. Groundbreaking DJ Ian Golden then took the idea further by adding arcade buttons to a Vestax controller known as the VCI-100. This connects to a computer running the audio software Tractor and allows for hot cues, loops, auto-sync capabilities, and a plethora of other effects. From DJing a set using a Guitar Hero controller to wirelessly mixing with an iPhone, Controllerism has changed the definition of DJ forever. Which is why we are in the front row and ready for some musical playtime. With me today from DJTechTools.com, ladies and gentlemen, DJ Ian Golden is here. I bow in your presence, sir. First of all, if you're not familiar with Ian's blog, you need to go there. Even if you're not a fan of DJing or turntablism, if your ears like things that make pretty noises, go and check it out. Congrats on the amazing blog.
Thank you.
But in addition to being a master of WordPress, you also created a pretty insane piece of equipment. What is this guy?
This is my baby. This is the VCI-100 Arcade Edition. So we make these for people with custom arcade buttons of your choice, and they'll enable creativity and through controllerism and DJ software.
So what does this do in comparison to like a traditional DJ setup? Because I've seen mixers that look like this before, obviously not with the arcade buttons.
Sure.
Where does this stand out?
So what we've essentially done here is taken two turntables and a mixer, condensed them into a smaller space, and then underneath the surface of those pretty common controls, we've enabled a lot of really sort of futuristic controls that allow you to play your music in very musical and fun ways.
Okay, so for example, how does this interface with the software? What does this let us do that a traditional mixer may not?
Sure. One example would be if I play a beat, what we've done is we've programmed the crossfaders and the faders to actually control effects.
Okay. And you have two spin pads as well. I saw you using those. Traditionally, that's used to scratch or cue up a song.
Exactly.
You can also assign those to effects?
Absolutely. We can, again, cue up that beat. What it's going to do is sample the beat.
Oh, that's what it's going to do. I love that. It's like a cooking show. You're like, just add some strawberries. It's that easy. And, oh, okay, sweet. And these four arcade buttons, why arcade buttons? Because is there something that you get out of this? I mean, other than maybe throwing a spear from Scorpion or a Ryu Fireball?
Well, yeah, besides getting the Ryu Fireball, you also get amazing tactile control. So when I was developing cue point juggling, I started getting carpal tunnel from playing bad buttons. Literally, my wrist started to hurt. So we were looking for cool buttons that not only had an easy feel, but had a rapid-fire response. What better than arcade buttons?
Arcade buttons, of course, and road-tested. You know, you can spill soda or, you know, slam a toddler's face on this when he beats you at Street Fighter, and they're going to stand the test of time.
Totally indestructible.
And so you are using these now. I mean, obviously, these can be set to whatever functions you want, right? It's MIDI. But on this side of the board, you sort of have these set to hot cues throughout a song?
Yep. Basically, what we have is one song here, where if I let it play out, you're going to hear the full progression. But I've got hot cues set on specific points.
Yeah, and I can see those as they scroll along on your monitor here. I can see you set little sort of flags. This is where you want it to go.
Exactly. So you can go back and rearrange it and replay them in a different musical way. Like...
That's awesome, dude. That's insane. All right, so we've got that out of the way now. I feel this is the portion of the cooking show where we go to the oven and here's the souffle. So please bake something for us here.
All right, we'll do a little mix and maybe you can even jump in on it and show us how it's done.
Probably not. Probably not. But please, by all means, Ian, let's see it. Okay, maybe I'll Maybe I'll just scoot in here. All right. Oh, it's no big deal. Look. I guarantee a large section of our audience right now is salivating to get their hands on one of these. What's it going to set them back?
Well, this particular controller, because it's custom built, each one's made by hand, does
Right, you can even choose the colors of the buttons and the knobs.
Totally choose the color custom combination. It's $849.
Which isn't bad in perspective with a traditional DJ setup, right?
No, that would usually set you back about $1,500. So it's cheaper than that. If you can't quite break off $849, we do have the same controller, but without the custom arcade buttons for $549.
And then there's a really, really scaled down version for those who are just kind of interested in getting started in this, right?
Sure. Vestax, the same company that makes the guts for our controller, actually made a new controller called the Spin, which is in Apple stores now. It's $249. It doesn't do any of the fancy stuff that we've done here today, but it gives you very easy access to mixing two tracks together.
Sure. This is an incredible piece of gear, Ian. Thank you so much for coming on and showing off. DJ Ian Golden, everybody. And that's it for Musical Playtime. Thanks for joining us.